Good afternoon, everybody. We have come to the closing session of this very intensive three-day, very intensive South Forum. We are very happy and honored to have two very distinguished speakers for our closing remarks. First, from Lingnan University, our AVP, Professor William Lee, and also Professor Tiejun, one of the chief organizers of the South Forum. Well, another round of applause for our speakers first. I'm not taking up any more time, so Professor William Lee,
I cannot consider myself as a speaker. I did not join the three-day forum, so I wouldn't say I'm giving a speech here. I will certainly make some remarks and hopefully will inspire. I already understand the June forum is coming up. I'm William Lee, as Dr. says, I'm one of the vice president of the university, and indeed, Professor Wen, Dr. Hao, and honored guests and participants, I'm really indeed honored to be invited by the Department of Cultural Study, one of the organizers, to give a sort of a concluding remark. I must confess, I'm not an expert in this area, though I'm trained as a sociologist, but the research and teaching since the past 6 years coming up to senior administration, and you understand what I'm talking about. Once you come up, you can sort of leave a lot of your work behind. So forgive me if I say that I took some time to look up on some of the research on this area, and so that I could give at least some meaningful remark to these esteemed collections of experts in this area. The issue of sustainability. The word comes to mind as I look up in the dictionary what it means. It comes from the Latin word of sustainere, which means to sustain, the main one being to maintain, to support, and more importantly, to endure. So sustainability is an issue of enduring support, as I understand it. It's a very important concept, which means society and human civilization is about a long-term preservation of well-balanced integration of environmental issues, social, economic, and recently, as you mentioned, political issues. We also need to recognize that it is an interdependency of all these I mentioned that tries to make a well-being of all living and non-living, as mentioned by the last speaker just now, on this planet that we all so dearly adore. This week was very pleasantly surprised to see from the news that we found another living planet somewhere out there, but it's 600 light years away. So we better cherish what we have and make it work. Now this philosophical interpretation, in particularly in light of, I already mentioned, I guess, in the very beginning of this forum, as well as by Professor Wen, recent financial and economic troubles in the West moves well beyond definition driven by progress-oriented economic perspective. But more importantly, this perspective sees human, us, as providing the stewardship and the responsibility of sensible management of resources on this planet. Now, looking at the themes and papers of these 3 days that are presented throughout, the forum certainly has accentuated this paradigm in more ways than we could imagine. I think we in the South-South, as late developers or developing countries, has a very important role. This is also at the same time an opportunity to realize this new paradigm, and perhaps develop a new model for development that is responsible for all. This, therefore, brings home to me the importance of your research in alternative development and ecological sustainability. Now, I'm sure the forum has achieved one of its many goals, among many, and that has brought together experts in this field, the first in Hong Kong, I understand it, and certainly the first in Lingnan, to share your experience, and while doing so, come to know each other's work in hope to create a sustainable network to further this important research in this area. This meeting, I hope, is just the beginning, and that the conversation that are started here will continue for the years to come. In closing, I'd like to thank my colleagues from the sponsors as well as from the Department of Cultural Study under the research arm of the Guangdong Research and Development Program for staging such a successful first forum at Lingnan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor William Lee. Now, may we have our last concluding remarks from Professor Wen Tiejun.
Thank you. I just talked to Professor Lee. I said this is the first South-South forum in Hong Kong. And it's also the first South-South forum in whole China. And so I think that it's a kind of benchmark. And because, you know, that speaking Chinese during these 3 or 4 decades, even the half century, we're mainly concerned about advanced countries. They learn, they follow, they even duplicate. And then, not only half century, I think that maybe from the so-called new cultural movements in 1990, they started trying to duplicate the Western system and then the Western philosophy, Western culture, and even Western civilizations. We have done a lot of efforts. 100 years passed. Now we need to turn to developing world, to South-South. That is a South-South for cooperative. Once a time I discussed this topic to my sponsors, UNDP. They asked me that why don't you use South-South cooperative? I said South-South means cooperative, means South people's cooperative. We don't need to very very clear to indicate that is cooperative. We also don't need very clear to indicate that is for development, because we are trying to, research on the lessons that we copy, we follow 100 years. It's a lesson, what is that? And then we want to turn to the South countries with basic livelihoods experiences. And then we may know something. We may renew our knowledge, and then we can learn from each other. So this is a kind of benchmark to make not only Hong Kong, but also the mainland, I think the Chinese, renew their knowledge and then to turn to South countries to learn from South people. So, you know that first I need to say on behalf of my university and so, and on behalf of maybe because UNDP, they have another business, they gone. So they asked me to give some words to represent them, but I also that. I just think about what is the importance. What is the South forum that we need to remember? Remember this big China trying to change 100 years in learning from West. Now they need both. It doesn't mean China refused to learn from West. They also need to learn a lot. But this time, we more emphasize the South countries, the developing world. And that is, we want to strengthen the relationship. We want to set up a kind of learning by doing program in South countries. That is very important. So my university, in name of Renmin University, is not good translation. We need to say that the university in name of People's University. People's University means that you need to focus on the people's, the common life. It's a livelihoods, and then you know what's the people. If you just learn a part of the people's life, especially the advanced countries' people's life. You may know that the knowledge is very, very, how to say that, it's not perfect. We need to revise, we need to reflect, we need to go forward and learn more. And then on behalf of our working team, that we have many years to working together and then learning by doing, and then we have many, many local experiences. So that is the first day I point out several of our local elites. They are working in local for more than 10 years. I said you'd better exchange with them because they do have a lot of experience in local. So on behalf of the team, what our purpose? We are trying to open a new field for set up a kind of platform for South countries social movements, South countries scholars and the local elites to sit together and then have a more time to exchange. So it's just a start. So I think it's a very important, very meaningful to have a first South-South forum in China. Nowadays it's in Hong Kong. That is why I think that half year later we may have another one in mainland. That is just we are in preparation. But next time, okay, when we talk about that, let me give you what is our next concern, our concerns. Next time we have a very, very complicated topic. We have many topics. And as Dr. Login she mentioned a lot of things that is in the panel discussions. But next time, we need to focus. We need to try to find what is a very urgent topic. We need to have a deeper discussion. We may not have a so big. This time we organize 3 groups to go to the local, to mainland local, and then you know the local knowledge, local experiences. Next time, we will focus on one place. Maybe we can organize some foreign delegates, foreign participants to go to one local. We organize local people join you, and then you have a field work, not only by you, but by local people join together, and then you have a more chance to discuss together, and then you know each other. Especially we want these local people, these local elites, local scholars, and even local officials to join the program, and then you can have a field work together. And then after that, we may have a kind of discussion. So that is my thought. I think that we can, going forward, to keep our South-South forum and by deepen the studies, deepen the learnings in local. And then we may have a more exchange. And this time, when participants join this learning trip, you said it's very good because you don't have chance before. This is the first time you join this local trip. I think that we will continue to organize such kind of local trip, and then to make you know more about mainland China. One thing is very important. I think that our Spanish friend asked me. I said, okay, think about there are 800 million labor age population in mainland China, and then in rural, 500 million. Whatever isms, whatever nations, whatever governments, whoever political leader can give 800 million labor age people to have a cash income job. It's possible or not? By whatever nations, we can believe modernization is big. It's a beautiful picture. Can we do that? Anybody stand out said, I can. I immediately follow. And then think about the world. We have a 7 billion population. More than 3 billion is working age population. It's labor age population. Is there any isms can give this 3 billion working age population cash income job? You can imagine. It's possible or impossible. You give your own answer. So whatever we want to do is trying to find alternatives. You cannot just follow the mainstream. Just now I have gave a speaking talk about what is mainstream, what is mainstream interest come from, what's their surplus as a profit, how they strengthen that. So finally you can find less mainstream just benefits 1%. Another 99% all become source. So our source means that one source is original source, another one is new source in north. It's because that you cannot benefit, you belong to 99. So it means that even north, you also become source. So our source forum cannot be indicated, cannot be very clear definition to indicate a fixed group. We will enlarge the concepts to make more people join, and then we can have a somehow maybe alternative for ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Wan.